Jacobs was hanging around in Eddie's pawn shop for a few hours, as he often seemed to do. For some strange reason that neither man could quite put their finger on, they actually were becoming friends. Jacobs found himself at the pawn shop, if not every day, at least 4 or 5 times a week. Maybe it was the boredom that was getting to him. He didn't really have anything else to do other than training Gunner, but he couldn't do that 12 hours a day. He didn't want to overwork Gunner, so he tried to limit the training to a couple hours a day with some breaks sprinkled in between. It had been several weeks since his conversation at the prison with Mallette, and there hadn't been a single incident since then. It appeared the two men had a truce, at least for the time being. But it also seemed to leave Jacobs with a void that he appeared to have trouble filling with anything else. He lacked a purpose. It was mid-afternoon, and Jacobs was hanging in the back office as Franks was tending to a customer out front. As he waited, he did a few basic commands with Gunner and gave him a treat as he sat. After a few minutes, Franks finished with his customer and came walking into the back. "Making yourself at home?" Franks asked. "Sure am. Must be pretty awkward having to deal with a customer and all, since it happens so infrequently." "Ha ha, very funny. I have just the right number of customers that I need. If I get any more than that, then I'll actually have to do work here and actually operate like a real business." "Yeah, who needs that?" Jacob said, giving Gunner another treat. "Hey, I was thinking about visiting Lucy and Deb at the massage place after work. Feel like coming?" It didn't take Jacobs long to respond. "Nah, I'll just do some stuff at home." "You need to get out of your doldrums, my friend." "I'm not in any doldrums." "I beg to differ. Ever since that meeting with Mallette, you've been looking like you're down in the dumps." Jacobs shook his head, not wanting to acknowledge it. "I'm not." "Why don't you just take out the rest of his men?" Franks asked. "You're being very trusting of a man who's tried to kill you and has killed members of your family." "Don't want to risk it. If I take out a few more of his men, I don't want to risk him retaliating against my brother and his family, or even Val's parents." "You really think you can trust him?" Jacobs threw his hands up. "He's living it up so far. So you just gonna wait 10 years until he's out of prison before continuing your war?" Jacob shrugged. "How do you know he's not just planning something against you right now? How do you know he's not putting together some grand, magnificent plan to take out your brother, your wife's parents, and you, all at the same time? He's capable of it, you know." "I know. But what do you want me to do?" Jacobs asked. "I don't necessarily want you to do anything. I'm just trying to make sure you know that you're playing by rules that he might not be. Just because things are silent doesn't mean you should let your guard down." Jacobs just looked at him for a minute. Franks was right. Jacobs hadn't done much of anything the last couple of weeks, except sitting around. He stopped gathering intelligence, stopped keeping tabs on Mallette's men, stopped doing everything. And he hated admitting when Franks was right, but there was no doubt he was here. Jacobs needed to get back on the ball. Just in case Mallette was up to something, Jacobs didn't want to be caught with his pants down. "You sure you don't want to head to the massage place later?" Franks asked again. "I'm sure." "Come on, man. You need to get back on the horse and ride again." No, I don't." "You'll be able to take a load off and de-stress?" "I'm fine," Jacob said. "You take Lucy, I'll take Deb." "You look more like a Lucy guy. I prefer Deb anyway. She's a little bit wilder, if you know what I mean." Yep. I know what you mean."
"Besides, I think Lucy's kind of sweet on you."
Jacob shook his head, not really interested in any part of the conversation.
"I'm good."